Welcome to Mike Cooley Radio. Let's get it, because we gon' get it in. What's good, everybody? I hope everybody's having a blessed day. And like I always say, what do I always say? Stay what? Stay sucker free. That's right. Stay sucker free from these haters, because the haters are gonna hate. And let them hate. Because when they hate, that means that you're doing something right. Alright? Let them hate. It's gonna be alright. Your success is all that matters. Your focus to your success, all that matters. Let them hate, let it motivate. Alright? I'm serious. Don't let these people get under your skin because they can't be you, or they hating because they can't see your vision and they gonna knock you down. Only person can see your vision is you and God. And you pray to God. And you ask God to help you achieve those goals, and you work hard to achieve your goals. Alright? Please download Mike Cooley Radio right now. That's right. Download me right now so you can hear all my segments all the time, and you can hear some good game and good content from me. Alright? Also, follow me on social media, YouTube. Let's start off with YouTube first. Alright? Type my name in. MikeKooley. Type my name in so you see all the videos and stuff and content that I have on YouTube. Also follow me on Instagram and Facebook. Just type my name in, alright? Follow Mike Cooley Radio on all digital platforms, from iHeartRadio and Podbean and so many more, alright? Just go ahead on and push the follow button, alright? Now, we're gonna talk about something here that I don't know, man. It's just amazing how people start pointing the finger when people lose, alright? We're going to talk about what went wrong with Kamala Harris' campaign. There's a lot of things that have been starting to get put out about money, debts and things, and people are upset. Democrats are upset and they're pointing the finger, and they're blaming Joe, they're blaming her, they're blaming so much. And I want to explain something, Democrats. I'm an independent. I'm not a Republican, or I'm not a Democrat. But I said this, like I said, if you go back and listen to my segment, I said this was a disaster from the beginning. And let's get this clear. My issue was, let's take it all the way back, Democrats. This is for the Democrats, all right? I want. Let's take it all the way back. When Joe went back to run, you guys had nobody to go against Joe to go up and say, hey, maybe give me a shot, right? So Joe was the only person that was running to go back for president. Is that correct? Is that correct, Democrats? I'm just making sure I'm right. Then all of a sudden, the Republicans decided, hey, we're going to let Trump, everybody said we'll let Trump go head on, and we want him to, try to run for, rerun for president for the Republican side. Okay. Democrats, you never gave anybody any options. Joe was the only option that was there. I know behind the scenes you guys know that Joe messed up. I know you guys seen that the economy was high and that the food and stuff is up, that the gas prices is up, that we have wars everywhere. I know you guys have to see this, right? So Joe messed up also, because Joe did not want to leave, right? So many things, Democrats, that didn't go right. Okay? It just didn't go right. So, let me get back to it. So, after Trump decides, after the Republicans decide, oh, they want Trump, okay, Joe goes up And then they have this debate. And he didn't do, President Joe Biden didn't do so well. Then 3 months. Because Joe didn't want to let go. 3 months before the election. You guys decide to put Kamala Harris in a worst position ever to try to win an election in that short amount of time. And then you wonder why the campaign didn't do so well. Well, what you expect when she only had she only had a short amount of time to get it done. She had to get a vice president. She had to get the policies together. She had to, come on, man. Come on. It doesn't make any sense. Now everybody's pointing the finger at each other and, oh, this should happen. It all went bad. The borders are bad. Everything is looking bad. And it was just time for a change. Now the Republicans got the House and everything now. So everything's in Trump's hands. But I want you guys to listen to this. And I'll get back to you guys.
In the campaign for Kamala Harris, as Democrats continue their infighting over her defeat in the presidential election, new reporting from Notice, N-O-T-U-S, a great website, suggests that there is finger pointing and blame gaming at all levels of the Harris campaign over the campaign strategy or lack thereof, decision making or lack thereof, mismanagement or management of funds. Let's bring in Jasmine Wright, who's covering this story for Notice, also with us, CNN's chief national affairs correspondent, Jeff Zelli. So, Jasmine, per usual, great reporting. You have this great story describing the Harris campaign as a disorganized operation that was more reflective of Joe Biden than of Kamala Harris. She was unable to capitalize on that initial voter enthusiasm. She was unable to make a clear distinction between herself and Joe Biden. Tell us more about that. Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of examples into this piece about how the initial campaign under Joe Biden was put together. The fact that it was based off of the fact that, they may not have a lot of voter enthusiasm, not a lot of volunteers, maybe even not a lot of donor money, and so they were kind of scrappy, but that meant that it was difficult for people, once Harris replaced Biden, to scale up and really capture that enthusiasm and capture all that money. We know when Biden was on the ticket, it was difficult for them to staff up. People didn't want to work for Joe Biden. People didn't want to move to Wilmington, and so that left in people's minds that we talked to people in these really key senior roles, potentially 4 or 8 years too junior for that very specific role. And so when it came to the vice president being on top, they were having problems fundraising. We reported that they missed a fundraising deadline in September after revising that a couple times based off of the projections that they made when she made a lot of money coming into it, but also some problems with the culture, particularly around folks. One person said that they kind of had a gallows humor, a 9-to-5 work mentality, and that they were very hesitant to take advice from Harris aides that the vice president brought in once she topped the ticket. And of course, there was just a lot of criticism over the campaign leadership and what the data and analytics team were doing and what research that they were actually looking at to form their analysis of the race. So a lot of the aides you spoke to blamed the campaign chair, Jen O'Malley Dillon, who wanted to own all decision-making, they say, for the campaign. At Biden's request, Harris largely kept his pre-existing campaign infrastructure, as you just noted, including keeping O'Malley Dillon instead of bringing in her own campaign manager. And aides that you spoke with said she created a bottleneck, resisted advice, even withheld key polling information. Is there unanimity that it's her fault, per se? Well, I think ultimately what I talked to is that people blame Joe Biden. They blame Joe Biden for staying on the ticket too long. They blame Joe Biden in his initial campaign for being unable to recognize just how deeply upset Americans were about the economy, about immigration, about some of these other larger issues. But they say that these issues under the hood at the campaign, it's kind of like death by 1,000 cuts. They may have not lost the race for them, but they certainly did not help. And they feel
very, very seriously that it did not put the vice president in the best position to win when she changed over in July.
Certainly not. You only have 107 days to run for president. Jeff, former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi certainly sounds like she is blaming a lot of this on Joe Biden for not getting out of the race back in 2022, 2023, when he could have allowed a thriving Democratic process, a strong primary and caucus process, somebody who could separate themselves from Joe Biden.
Look, this was always going to be difficult given the inflation headwinds, but many people agree with Speaker Pelosi. If you look back to the midterms of 2022, that is something that emboldened President Biden, that he thought the message from the midterms, where Democrats did not get blown out, that they thought that was a sign that there was some sort of need or market for him. So that was one thing. There's no question the timing and his decisions really affected everything. Also, an over-reliance on abortion rights. That was also a lesson mislearned. A variety of people we've talked to said because it was so successful in 2022, they thought that this was the thing that would really overtake inflation in the economy. It simply didn't. But with young voters in particular, that remains kind of a mystery to this. Just 1% in each of the three blue wall states, if you will, in some of these college towns would have made a difference and not appeal to young voters. So look, this failure has 1,000 fathers. There's no doubt. You have to give some of the blame to Vice President Harris, but certainly much more to President Biden.
All right, you hear that, all right? So everybody is pointing fingers here, right? And like I said, listen, man, it's a lot of fingers to be pointing around. I get it. At the end of the day, you have to, like I said this in my podcast, and so many times you just go down and look at the other segments. And I said I didn't see how she was going to win. I think she didn't have the timing was off. That's too much. It was too short a time. She needed more time. I asked people if there was other candidates besides her, would the Democrats would have chose her, or they would have chose somebody else. I asked that, and people was giving me these feeling answers and not the correct answer. When I mean feeling answer, come from I feel this way, I want this person to win, but the logic is that everybody knows that if there was other Democrats that were trying to run against Trump, and she was in that race with it, Democrats wouldn't have chose her. I don't believe they would have chose her. They probably would have chose a different candidate to go against him. And that's just the way I feel about it. That doesn't mean she ain't smart. Does not mean that she, whatever. It's just that I think there could have been other people that could have done better. That's all. But at the end of the day, she tried, and, she tried her best in the short amount of time that she had. And that's all she can do. They're actually saying she gave money to Oprah, $1 million. Oprah said that's not true. She was on TMZ. They came up to her and asked her. She said it's not true. But there's a lot of rumors saying that she was paying off celebrities to come out and perform and do stuff like that, and got into some debt. And so I don't know how true that is. We'll get more into it when that time comes, but that's what allegedly is going on. I'm going to say allegedly because at the end of the day, that's what they're saying, and I don't know all the details in it, alright? But this is what they're saying, and so we're going to believe what is being said out there, and it's just a crazy thing. But at the end of the day, Trump won. And buckle your seatbelts because we on for a long ride. And hey, it is what it is. So, and one more thing, and he's really serious. I think Trump is very serious about this mass deportation thing. He's not laughing. He is very serious. This is going to be very, very interesting because I'm going to sit back and watch, And it's really sad, for the families out there that are, that don't have their papers and worried and things like that. Keep your head up, and that's all I really can say. Just keep your head up and try to stay positive. Pray for, give it in God's hands, because we gotta understand, families are going to be separated, because some families are American citizens, and then you got some families that come from different countries, and they just don't have their papers. Mothers, fathers, grandmas, aunties, brothers, everything, right? So it's going to be a very, very, very crazy thing that's going to be coming up in January when he takes office, when Trump takes office. President Trump, elect Trump, takes office. So, we'll see how this goes. This is Mike Cooley Radio, and let's get it, because we're going to get it in, and I'm out.